Hi, I'm Jeffrey Thu. This is my attorney's badge, and while I'd really like to talk to you about your biased cultural assumptions regarding stepladders, today I'm here to analyze the ending theme song of the Ace Attorney anime, Message. As you're watching this, I'm currently gearing up for Anime Expo in LA, which means I'm out of the basement and I don't have a heck of a lot of time to crank out a full-length video. But I want to give you guys something to enjoy while I'm away, and since anime EDs tend to be a lot simpler than OPs, and you've all been asking me to cover EDs forever, now's as good a time as any to ask, what's in an ED? If you've been watching Ace Attorney, then you know that the show started out pretty rough, though it improved quite a lot at the start of the Steel Samurai arc. You also know that the only part of the show that's been consistently good since the beginning is the ED, featuring best girl Maya Fey. In the ED, we see Maya struggling to put on makeup in a sunflower mirror, messing it up, and then moping about it until a magical flower petal does it for her, at which point she immediately wipes it off like an ungrateful jerk. But damn if that smile doesn't look cute. Of course, that's not really what the ED is about, it's a metaphor. Specifically, it's a metaphor for Maya's internal struggle about her inexperience as a spirit medium and her inability to reconnect with the ghost of her sister, Mia. And the metaphors start right out of the gate. The sunflower, which we see in the OP as well, is a symbol of hope and recovery. It's of course notable for its similarity to the design of the series' iconic attorney's badges, but it has a lot of significance in Japanese culture as well. The obvious significance of the sunflower is the sun and its relation to the sun goddess Amaterasu, a very important deity in the Japanese pantheon. In Kanagawa Prefecture's Zama City, there's even a festival dedicated to the flowers, where visitors come to see over 500,000 of them in bloom. But beyond simply being a bright and happy image with religious connotations, the sunflower has a practical use. It's very good at soaking up radiation and toxins from soil. In fact, fields of sunflowers have been sown around Fukushima power plant in order to help reclaim its land following the nuclear disaster there. The flower plays a very real restorative role, which makes it a great emblem for the series' defense attorneys. This particular sunflower probably represents Mia Fey, which would explain why looking at it makes Maya so sad. The flower petals in front of it form the shape of painted lips. Maya attempts to put on her own lipstick, literally trying to channel her sister's spirit, but she fails. And in that context, it's a lot more reasonable for her to start crying. She feels useless and ashamed of herself, like she's failed Phoenix. We pan from this image of them standing dramatically apart to a wilted sunflower, a pretty sharp reminder of her sister's death, and then back to Maya sulking. She looks pretty miserable, but then we see Nick's hands nurturing that fallen flower, representing his determination to keep the spirit of what Mia was doing alive and defend his clients. His efforts rouse her attention and inspire her to keep trying, to chase after her sister yet again. It's not easy though. It requires a great deal of introspection on her part. We watch her falling inside a beam of light, lost and struggling to find herself. Eventually she does, quite literally, and then the two of them, oh man, that's maybe a little too hot. If you can get past the fact that Maya is wearing nothing but a ribbon and her magatama, and there's two of her, and they're about to make out, oh boy. If you actually pay attention to the framing of the shot for a moment, you'll see that the beam of light creates a clear divide between the two halves of her, which they then cross in order to meet in the middle. This is a reconciliation of sorts between the part of her that enjoys hanging out with Nick and watching Steel Samurai and goofing around, and the weight of her responsibilities as a spirit medium, the part of her that yearns to be of use. Where they meet in the middle is probably where she asks the firemen to hose her down as a substitute for sitting under a waterfall. The two sides of Maya finally come together, and for only the second time in the OP, we see her complete. Not the grayed out Maya mourning over her sister or the crazy Technicolor Maya in the middle of soul searching, but a fully colored in and animated Maya full of hope. That image isn't exactly subtle. I mean, all of the flowers are dancing now and the color palette is like 10 times brighter than it was, but it is quite pretty and, in my opinion, heartwarming. Finally feeling whole again, Maya is able to connect with her sister a lot more easily. As the petal blows by, the lipstick just appears on her face, but she smiles warmly and wipes it away because in becoming capable of reaching out for her sister's guidance, she's also overcome her desperate need for it. This ED might not be incredibly deep like some of the other ones out there, but it's touching and it carries personal significance to one of the series' best characters, who is also my waifu. And that quality is what's kept me going through Ace Attorney's rough patches. Despite awkward pacing, uneven plotting, and clearly unfinished animation, the show does really get the characters that I fell in love with playing the Ace Attorney games back in the day. And as the series has gone on, that quality has only shown brighter and brighter. If watching this makes you interested in checking out the Ace Attorney anime, then I would recommend heading over to Crunchyroll and skipping immediately to episode 5, which is where it starts being actually watchable. And if you don't have a Crunchyroll account yet, you can head on over to crunchyroll.com/basement for a 2-week free trial that'll let you check out Ace Attorney and a host of other great anime. And by doing so, you'll be kicking $8 whole my way, which is a huge help to the channel. If you need some more convincing on why you'd want to help the channel, I recommend checking out my analysis of the opening themes of Space Brothers, which was directed by the same guy who headed up production on Ace Attorney. Or, if you're looking for something with a little more in the way of pretty flowers, then you can't go wrong with Anohana. I still can't remember the name of the flower we saw that day. Unless you don't want to cry, in which case you could go very wrong by watching something about Anohana. If you like this or any of those videos and you want to see more of them, then I urge you to dramatically point your finger at that subscribe button and follow me on Twitter at G0FF2 for regular updates about everything I'm working on. And before I go, special thanks, as always, to the awesome people who support the channel via Patreon. You make it possible for me to keep making these videos and for me to go to events like VidCon and Anime Expo, which, hey, just a reminder, I'm gonna be at this weekend. You guys are the best. For now, this is Jeff Thu, professional shitbag, signing out from Anime Expo.